I'll call the committee to order and ask the secretary to call the roll.
Bryan, Parker, Barnett, Blackwell, Blunt, DeBar, Fillingane, Frazier, Harkins, Hickman, Hill, Hobson, McMahon, Parks, Polk, Tate, Turner Ford, Wiggins. We have a quorum.
The bill that's before us is Senate Bill 2886. It would have been considered at our meeting yesterday afternoon, except that the chair of this committee is an airhead and it didn't happen. Senator Turner, you're recognized to explain the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senate Bill 2886 sets up a registry system with the Department of Revenue for electronic nicotine delivery system devices, referred to as ENDS in the bill. The Department of Revenue is tasked with devising the program. Applications would need to be submitted by August the 1st, and the registry would go live October 1st. And this is the purpose of the registry is to make sure that these vapor products that are being sold by various retailers have been reviewed by the FDA and that they've received certification to be available for market. And there are also penalties that are established in the bill. If a manufacturer does not comply with this process, retailers would have 60 days to absent these products from their shelves. And from there, if they refuse to comply, the products could be subject to seizure as well as fines. And I'll yield for question.
Senator Hickman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a couple of quick questions for clarification. You may have said it, but I didn't hear it. I think I was busy reading. Who's retaining this registry? Where's the registry going to be located?
The Department of Revenue website.
And this bill puts all the onus on the manufacturers to register and do whatever they need to do in order to sell in the state of Mississippi.
I would say for the purpose of submitting to the registry, but the retailers would be required to monitor the list to make sure that their products comply with the registry.
And I guess moving forward, I'm guessing once this process is all in there, then a seller would just have to look at the list before they purchase products and things of that nature.
That's correct. And the bill also establishes that revenue would be required to monitor the directory monthly. And so it would be, I would say, basically in real time that retailers would have an opportunity to review the list.
And one final question, is there like a period of time that they get active look in the bill? Like, does it give them a certain amount of time for the Department of Revenue to get the get the registry up and all that kind of stuff?
The applications would be due or begin to be submitted August the 1st. The registry would go live October the 1st. And from there, it would be 60 days that those products would have to be, those products that are available for sale should be on the list.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator McMahon.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. Chairwoman, Senator Ford, I have a question about the time limit. I believe it was on line 70, the 60 days. Let me see if I can find it again. For the retailers, yeah, 171. Each retailer should have 60 days. You know, the retailers, a lot of them, they bought these products in good faith. And is that enough time? I mean, to clear their inventory, because the manufacturer is not going to buy that product back from them more than likely. Is that enough time?
I don't want to say if it is or if it isn't. That's what the bill proposes. And certainly if the members of the committee think that the time is insufficient, I believe that's something we should discuss.
I mean, could we give them a little more time to clear their inventory? Maybe, 90 days instead of 60 or 120? I tell you what, I'd just like to offer an amendment, Mr. Chairman, at the proper time.
I suppose we need a motion title sufficient to pass. If
I will move title sufficient to
you're so
pass.
inclined. Senator McMahon has an amendment.
Yeah. On lines 171, I would like to change that 60 days to 120 days to allow the retailers the opportunity to clear their inventory. I'm happy to yield for any questions.
I don't have any questions.
You ready to vote? Understand the amendment? All in, Senator Blackwell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Does this mean that they can continue to buy product from the wholesaler for another 120 days?
No, I would not think it would, I mean, it would not be my intention. It would not be my intention to allow them to keep purchasing, but only be to clear their inventory.
Well, if I may, Mr. Chairman, I'm not sure if you increase this time limit to 120 days for the retailers, is there a way to ensure that they are not purchasing additional products?
Well, on line 174, I think it's already dealing with the inventory, and inventory not included in the directory. I don't think a retailer is going to knowingly, I don't think they'll go out there and purchase more product if they've been made aware that they've got 120 days to clear their, I mean, with computerization now, I mean, it's pretty direct what kind of inventory you have and how often you turn your inventory. So I would stand by amendment of 120 days to clear their inventory for the amendment.
Any more debate on the amendment?
But, Mr. Chairman,
Senator Blunt.
I'd like to offer a substitute.
Senator Blunt.
I think what Senator McMahon is concerned about is that you have a retailer who buys a product thinking that it's legal and then has this product in the store and is unable to sell it when at the time he bought the product, he thought he was buying something that was legal. So my substitute amendment would be that the effective act creating the registry would remain July the 1st, and then 90 days after July the 1st, the seizure and fine language takes effect. Such that.
Okay, do you understand the substitute amendment?
So we're gonna allow people who have bought product thinking that they have bought a legal product to have time to exhaust their inventory. My fear is this, that if if we set up this registry July the 1st, in a year, 2 years, 3 years, people are buying whatever they want to buy, and then you got 4 months to get rid of it, and then there's no penalty, and you're not accomplishing anything with the bill, except a registry that you don't even have to look at, because somebody walks in your store and you're selling stuff that's not in the registry, you got 4 months to sell it, and you can do it again, and we're not accomplishing anything. I mean, I think it's not my bill, but I think the intent is to make sure that these products that are sold are legitimate. And if they're not legitimate, and the retailer has public notice before he buys the product, that stuff should be seized day one, in my opinion. And so if the retailer thought he was buying a legitimate legal product because this registry hadn't been set up yet, then sure, let's give that guy time to exhaust his inventory. But the point of the bill, as I understand it, is that if you have bought a product that is not on this registry, you're buying something that is potentially dangerous, and it should be subject to seizure, and that's what the substitute would do.
May I respond? And so I don't oppose the amendment, and this is not my bill, but if we are going to amend the bill with the 90-day provision, perhaps maybe it should be effective October 1, which is when the directory is published. And that's when retailers would have some sort of knowledge that the products that they have not been certified by the FDA.
I think that makes a lot of sense, Senator Ford. I think you hit on my concern. So then I guess I need to restate my substitute. Is that right?
I would request.
Okay.
So do you want to restate your substitute amendment?
Yeah. I'll ask Senator Ford to make sure I say it correctly, that the bill, the department is authorized to create the registry beginning July 1. Have I got that right, Senator?
I think they would start whenever.
The registry, and then the language regarding seizures and takes effect 90 days after July 1?
After October 1. The registry would not be published until October 1.
Okay. Senator Ford's expressed it better than I can, but I think that's
Senator Turner, did Senator Blunt correctly state his substitute amendment?
I would like to state it maybe, if it's 90 days from October 1, which is the date the registry is published, retailers will have until 90 days from October 1 to exhaust their inventory of these uncertified products.
Thank you.
Chairman.
Senator Barnett, were you seeking recognition?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman.
Well, you've been recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know we have two amendments on the floor, but my question goes back to lines 171 to 175. And if I'm reading this correct, it says that each retailer shall have 60 days from the date that the department makes first a directive available for inspection on its public website to sell products that were in its inventory and are not included in the directory, or remove those products from inventory. So my question is, does this bill go into effect January 1? I mean, July 1. But the bill goes into effect July 1. Those individuals are knowingly on July 1 that this bill is in effect. They have to October before the director is out there. So why are we continuing to ask for more time when they've already been notified by the passengers this bill on July 1 that it goes into effect? The directory doesn't come into effect maybe in October 1, and we still going to allow another 60 to 90 days. I think we should stick to what is actually in the bill, because in my opinion, they already have ample enough time from July 1 to October 1. We're talking about maybe 90 days. And then we're gonna offer another 60 days. I think the language in the bill is allowed enough time for everything that's requested in the bill. So this is my statement, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for your time.
Senator Turner, do you want to comment on that, or?
Not really. I mean, we're just debating as a committee. I don't have a position.
Uh,
I think the bill is good, but I can my question, what I don't know is how much of this inventory retailers have on their shelves. I don't know how long it would take to move it.
Senator Hickman, were you seeking recognition? Do you remember why you were seeking?
In a minute, but I think it was just to say again, I agree with Senator Turner Ford and the premise that Senator Barnett stated. But my only thing that I would add is that some retailers, again, goes back to the point, they thought they were purchasing a legal product. They wouldn't know that the product is not on the list until the actual registry has been published and goes live. So I think that goes to the heart of what the amendment is.
Mr. Chairman, in an effort to simplify things, I think Senator Barnett has read this correctly, and I withdraw my substitute, and we'll be back on Senator McMahon's amendment.
Without objection, Senator Blunt has withdrawn his substitute. Hearing no objection, we're now back on Senator McMahon's amendment, which, as I understand it, was to change the number on line 171 from 60 to 120. Is that correct?
That's correct. And also on line 180, anywhere, my amendment would be anywhere it says 60 days to amend it to 90. I'd like to speak to it before we vote.
You're recognized.
We're talking about a lot of small retailers, mom and pop businesses that own stores throughout Mississippi that have purchased a product. They've purchased it in good faith. And I don't want to see these businesses left with inventory. The 90 days would give them enough time, I believe, a quarter to clear that inventory. And so that's my amendment.
I thought your amendment was 120 days.
I'm going to say 90 daes, a quarter is.
So without objection, then the amendment is to change the 60-day period to a 90-day period.
Correct.
Are you ready to vote on that amendment? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Ayes appear to have it. Ayes appear to have it. The ayes have it. Senator Turner.
I move title sufficient to pass.
Senator
Committee
Hill.
sub.
I have a question. We handled a similar bill, well, not a registry bill, but we handled a bill in Judd B this morning, Senate Bill 2441, that the Attorney General's office asked for, that basically just requires vaporizing products to be included in the code section that we already have, 973251. And it basically just says that our state law will mirror the federal regs on vaping. So my question is, do we need to go through all this registry when the FDA has a list of approved products on their website, and as it's updated, they will change that? And so I'm just thinking of simplification. And certainly after a bill goes into effect, it says that if it's federally illegal, you can't sell it in the state of Mississippi. I mean, I have no problem with what Senator McMahon's saying is some kind of grace period, but I'm wondering, is this product a vape product or is this something else? Is this for some particular thing, ENDS product? Because I'm not certain what this even is.
Senator Boyd is the author of the bill. Unfortunately, she's not on the committee, but fortunately, she's here in the committee room. And unless there is objection, I'll let Senator Boyd respond to that concern.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm not sure what the bill has, that all the component pieces of it, or why the Attorney General's office sought to do this, because they actually were working on this piece of legislation. What this bill does, though, it is following the actions of many other states that are doing this right now. Our neighbor, Alabama, started this. We have an infiltration of products, and the FDA is not actively looking at this or engaging in this. And a number of these products are contaminated with things that are way beyond tobacco and nicotine. And so they have very harmful things in them. There's a number of issues with this. This very much is needed, and the registry, as many states have looked at it, is absolutely needed, because a retailer knows then when they've bought a product that it is a pure product, that it is not contaminated, that it is not coming from China, where those products are not even legally allowed to be sold, but they can be sold here in the States. And they are being sold in the States, even though the FDA says they can't be. So this also gives some protection to our retailers to be able to check, because I don't think any of our mom and pop retailers around the state wants to sell products that are going to be harmful to people because they've been filtrated with other products. So that's what this does. I'm not sure about the Attorney General's bill. I will take a look at it, but this is kind of the process that has been set up in other states, and it seems to be working very well in other states. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to speak, Mr. Chairman.
So the vote recurs on the motion, title sufficient, do pass, committee substitute. Is there further debate? Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes have it, and we will report that bill to the Finance Committee, which will meet immediately if only we would rise and report. Is there a motion to do that? Motions to rise and report. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Thank you. We'll see you at 3.